And good afternoon, everybody. Chris Bartell here with the Cascade Pacific Council with today's Wednesday webinar, which will actually be shifting dates and times, and I'll explain that at the end of today's webinar. But suffice it to say, we're going to be talking about why and the how behind fostering pack volunteers, how you make that happen. And Sarah's going to be joining us here shortly, but I'm going to give us just a quick little news update here. And thanks again, everybody, for joining us. Really appreciate it. And we'll go through a little news update, then we'll dive right into today's topic. But first, as always, we'd like to start off with a safety moment here, and we're going to talk about campout safety and basically some pre-planning, things to think ahead about. So we have a little do not forget little checklist here of 6 quick things here. First of all, documentation, just making sure you have your medical records, guidebooks, permission slips, all that dialed out, put them in a little binder, bring them with you. Of course, you know that if you're scout leaders, you know to do this. But also another thing to think about is training. Or is everybody up to date on their YPT, their youth protection certifications, and their CPR first aid? Are you up to date on hazardous weather conditions and training for that, or any kind of specific training such as wilderness first aid? Really great opportunities, of course, at the Cascade Pacific Council to get trained on all this. And of course, the BSA, the Boy Scouts of America, has tons of training on all of these things. So always good to know that. The third thing here is planning. Really, of course, you know where you're going, of course, but what are the weather conditions for that? So really making sure that you check on that before you go and making sure you have any permits that are required for the location. Number 4 is equipment. Of course, you know this, to have the right gear and have a checklist and a do not forget list. And of course, make sure you don't forget first aid kits, especially a big old first aid kit for your troop or pack. Really, really important. Number 5 is emergency planning. You should keep a cell phone handy, as well as a list of local authorities. So we're talking about ranger stations, fire departments, police, hospitals, etc., that are in the area or closest to wherever you are going, just in case you run into an emergency. And of course, having a great program. Prepare for fun, as we like to say. Know what the program is, and activities, of course, should be age appropriate and safe, and you should have proper supervision, which of course I know you'll have because you'll have lots of adults involved. But there you have it. There's your campout safety moment checklist for today. And let's dive into the latest news around the Cascade Pacific Council, shall we? All right, a couple of quick things here. Really important, we've got a new unit leader training about youth-to-youth bullying and abuse. It is on the rise nationally. And so we want to be ahead of this trend and we want to reverse it. As scouts, we've got more than 1 million scouts out there, and we can be ahead of this trend and really help out kids across the board, whether they're in scouting or not, by teaching our scouts how to be great examples. And we really would like all unit leaders to join us in this training. We have 2 opportunities, June 8th and June 16th at 6:30 p.m. You can check your email to register for these. We'll have this in the Compass Points email newsletter tomorrow, and you actually had it in there last week. So check your email for links to that, and please register for that. Also, for you merit badge counselors out there, it is time to renew if you have not done so, and really you need to do this. I would recommend doing it as soon as possible. The deadline is July 1st. If you don't check your renewal, what'll happen is you'll lose your connections with any scouts you're working with. So you really want to make sure that that's all up to date. We actually did a webinar on this, so you can check out the CPC website for that. That's right there on the homepage. You can get a link to that. It's literally 3 steps. It's super, super simple. It will only take you a few minutes. And basically it's just, you have to verify your youth protection status at my.scouting. You're going to go to scoutcommunity.com and renew. You'll see the process there if you watch the webinar. Super simple. And then just send an email to your district advancement chair or your merit badge coordinator and say, yes, I'm still in. That's all you have to do. Super, super simple. So check your email for links for that, but also you can see our webinar we did recently on that as well. Okay, some other great news is, if you haven't heard yet, reservations are now open for 2023 summer camp for Scouts BSA. So you got to get in on it, gang, if you're in the Cascade Pacific Council, because we've just let the cat out of the bag to everybody else across the nation. So you get to compete against everybody in Texas and California and Montana and all these folks who like to come to our camps. So if you want to get in on the camp that you want, make sure you jump in and check out those reservations, talk to your scout unit, and save some dates. Really important there at cpcbsa.org/reservations is where you can get that. Another thing that's happening is horse trek is happening again, but it's actually now ranch camp is what we call it. So, and the reason is I know everybody loves to go to horse trek. It's awesome. And however, because of the wildfires and whatnot, which closed a bunch of the areas in which we do horse trek, we started up ranch camp. So if you didn't know this, it happened after the wildfires and of course during COVID, which was crazy. But it is awesome. Ranch camp is just a hoot, and it is available to any scouts ages 13 to 21. You get to ride the trails and work the cows and learn horse care and roping and so much more. It is awesome. There are two opportunities here, one in June and one in August. And you know what we're going to do right now is we're going to let Mr. Scott DiPaolo just give us a little take on ranch camp himself.
Howdy, folks. Hey, I'm Scott DiPaolo. I'm the head wrangler out here at Butte Creek Scout Ranch. And I'll tell you, the ranch ain't all about riding and roping and doing cowboy stuff. We do some other things out here. Like this summer at ranch camp, we're going to teach you how to fly fish, how to cook over an open fire, and how to find true north by the stars. How to guide yourself when you have no other way to go. And we're hoping that you'll come out and you'll enjoy ranch camp with us. So get on cpcbsa.org, check us out, or just call in to 503-226-3423. You're going to talk to Deanne. She's going to point you in the right direction for getting signed up. Can't wait to see you out here this summer. Make it a great day and happy trails.
And you can get more information on that at cpcbsa.org/horses and find out all the details there, kind of what you need to prepare for. And again, this is happening in June and August, and saddles are going fast. So you do want to get in on that as soon as possible. It is an awesome, fantastic experience. All right, next up here, we have, give us a second here. It's the latest and greatest on our events that are happening. First of all, I want to mention Cub Scout Corner. A lot of you are here because of Cub Scout stuff, so this is great. What we have here is Deb Hildebrand. She runs this really fun program called Cub Scout Corner. It is virtual, it is via Zoom, and has guest speakers and incredible tools and content. Really great stuff. She is doing this pretty much the fourth Thursday of every month at 7 p.m. You'll get the dates here. You can actually search the CPC calendar at cpcbsa.org/calendar for the dates, and you can actually and you can sign up there, but you can also check your email for the dates. For example, she's got one on Nova programs happening in May. She's got how to recruit all summer in June. In July, she's going to be talking about Cub Scout skits, so that's going to be super fun. In August, she's going to be talking about program planning, and in September, Cub Scout crafts. So does that sound like fun or what? So join Deb on that. That's great, and you can get the links there in email or search the calendar for that, because there are a whole bunch of opportunities to sign up for. For Scouts BSA, we have Meriting with the Experts. These are courses that are happening really pretty much throughout the rest of the year. And actually this weekend is the one with Alaska Airlines talking about aviation merit badge. How cool is that? And also our friends at Evergreen Aviation and Space Museum do these with us too. So they're the experts. They come in and they host these awesome programs for Scouts BSA youth doing merit badge courses. Some are partial and some are actually complete merit badge courses. So there are a whole bunch of dates. So just go check out the calendar at cpcbsa.org/calendar, because there's a lot of dates there to sign up for those. A training opportunity for you Scouts BSA youth is National Youth Leadership Training. And it is awesome. It is just nationally recognized. It is an incredible program. There are 3 courses available in July and in August. So you're going to want to check that out at cpcbsa.org/NYLT. We've got some video there from some of the other Scouts that have done it in the past and just have learned a ton and learned a lot about leadership and how to lead their Scout unit, but also just leading in life. So that's pretty neat, eh? So check that out at cpcbsa.org/NYLT. And for you adults out there, we have Wood Badge, another leadership program. So it's like NYLT, but for adults, I guess is what you could say. So it's really, really awesome. Lots of leadership opportunities. This is going to help you in career and life and scouting. Of course, you're going to build great relationships. I'm super excited about it. It's happening in September, 2 weekends. That both weekends are required. You can find out more about that at cpcbsa.org/woodbadge. Wood Badge is what it's called, and it is awesome. So come join us for that in September. Also, save the dates for Jamboree, 2 Jamboree opportunities, 1 national, 1 world Jamboree. These are incredible. You scouts out there who want to meet scouts from all over the nation or all over the world, this is where you do it. And we're mentioning it because, as we've mentioned in the past, is that you really need to jump in on this soon, because we have our local troops, our local contingent is what we say. They're getting together now, like as of right now, and getting to know each other and whatnot. And they're also doing, fundraisers and things like that, campouts, just to really work together as a team, because you have troops, you have scouts in these troops from all over the Cascade Pacific Council. So it's pretty neat. And you will have a blast at either one of these. National Jambo, as we say, is in July of 2023. World Jamboree is in August, and it is in Korea. So you're going to want to check that out at wsj2023.us for World Jamboree. And for National Jamboree, you can go to the CPC website at cpcbsa.org/jamboree. Couple quick things about Scout Shop. There are some awesome specials happening right now, literally through this weekend. Great deal. This is an annual sale for summer camp. As you get ready for summer camp and all your summer activities, some great deals. You can get up to 25% off when you spend $175 there at the Scout Shop for camp. I mean, just tons of stuff is available. I was down there just a couple of days ago. It is awesome. So they have, name brand gear. I mean, climate sleeping pads and tons of tents and sleeping bags and all that kind of good stuff, as well, of course, Scout shirts and everything else. And you can get these new, you can get these limited edition pocket patches too, if you're so inclined. They have those there too. And you just need to ask them to sew it on, and for $3, and they'll throw one on there for you. Couple things quickly about marketing, quick promotional opportunities here for your Scout unit. We have some new tools. If you haven't seen these yet, we've got these great fun postcards here that can be customized, kind of like an RSVP for a birthday party. So you can customize them. You can throw them in the mail. You can do whatever you want. There are some for Scouts BSA units and for Cub Scout units as well. And just put whatever you want on it. You can have the kids color them, whatever you want. Just a fun, easy way to invite people to what's going on in your Scout unit. And we're using them at ours, and it's really, really great. Also, just want to let you know that coming soon, we're going to have posters. So we are doing some experimentation, working on posters that you can put up in your school, for instance. They're big old posters that promote your Scout unit. So we're going to have those soon too. But you can sign up for all this stuff at cpcbsa.org/marketing. There are tons of tools. For example, this next thing I want to talk about quickly is social media. So we can help you energize your social media, as I like to say, by connecting your social media account for your Scout unit to the CPC. And what we'll do is then we'll just post there occasionally with some fun things like quotes and stuff like that. And actually, you can see all these things at cpcbsa.org/marketing. You can see examples of what we're posting there. And what it does is we post these posts and we drive people to message you, your Scout unit, about what's going on in your Scout unit. So it's kind of fun. You'll see examples there. Go to cpcbsa.org/marketing. There's kind of the whole how this all works. It's actually pretty easy, and some directions there. Okay. Whew. That was a lot. Anyway, we're going to get right to the real nitty gritty of why you all are here, why you're watching. We're talking about fostering pack volunteers. And I want to introduce Sarah Derheimer. She is a Super Scout and is currently the Spirit Lake District Roundtable Commissioner. Sarah, say howdy. And I'd love to hear, tell us a little bit about yourself, and then I will jump over to your presentation.
Okay, well, thank you. I'm Sarah Derheimer. And I got involved in scouting back in, about 4 years ago. My husband went to Wood Badge, and he was just like, Sarah, you would be so good at scouts. You would totally be on fire for scouts if you got involved. And I was dragging my feet, and finally he got me to a dinner where he got his beads, and I went, okay, I'll go to Wood Badge. And that was all it took. I waited 3 years to be able to go to Wood Badge because they kept having to cancel it because of COVID. but it was awesome. And I have been wanting to research and learn everything about scouting and Cub Scouting, especially because that's my favorite thing.
That is awesome. Well, and you were recently involved with the camporee we had up in the north. That was awesome.
The Cubbery.
Oh, you were at the Cubbery, yes, the
Yes.
Camporee. It's been a while, it's been kind of a while since we did any of those things. It's all kind of a jumbled mess in my brain, but that looked awesome too. So thank you for helping out there and doing that. That was just absolutely amazing. Well, today we're going to be talking about fostering pack volunteers. You've created an awesome presentation. I'm going to share it now, gang. We will have an opportunity for you to ask questions at the end here, but Sarah's got some great tips here. So let me share my screen here and we'll boogie.
Fostering pack volunteers, or as I like to say, empowering the volunteer within. When meeting new parents, it is a great idea to have a parents' meeting to explain what kinds of expectations the pack has for them and their family. This is a traditional parent meeting, but today, parent meetings can be held in a much more convenient way for the typical busy parents in our packs. In this meeting, feel free to use the next video I published to YouTube called Pack Volunteers Video. We all know that today's kids use guilt trips to get what they want from their parents. Please, Mom and Dad, all my friends have this new toy, and I am the only one in the whole class that doesn't. You don't want me to be made fun of, do you? We are going to use a similar strategy on you right now. We will optimistically say that your Cub Scout will live to be close to 100. So this represents their life timeline. Cub Scouts are between the ages of 5 and 11. That means that the average age of Cub Scouts is 8. Likely, parents in this room will have an average age of around 35. If you live to be around 77, your Cub Scout will be 50. This now represents the amount of time you have to be together during their lifetime. Going along with the average age of a Cub Scout being 8, we will go ahead and take the years away that have already passed by. Now you have this many years left to be around your Cub Scout, but they will probably move out of your home between the ages of 18 and 20. After that, you won't be able to spend hardly any time with them. So we will take the years past 19 away. Now this is all the time you have left until your Cub Scout moves away. Unfortunately, when your child reaches teenage years, they will start listening more to their friends than their parents. So we will take away the years past around 13. Time is running out. This is the amount of time you have left to be the major influential force in your son or daughter's life. Use this time to show them how important they are to you by becoming involved in scouting with them. Scouting is a remarkable opportunity for you and your child to share in a variety of fun, exciting, and positive experiences, not to mention the priceless, lasting memories you will create together. This precious time spent together will help your son or daughter grow into the type of adult you want and know that they can become. Expectations. What does your pack expect from parents? For example, do you expect all parents to volunteer in some way? Does anyone have any examples of some expectations that your pack has?
First, you'll need to know your parents. This is more than just saying, hey, how you doing? And thanks for coming. This is getting to know your parents at den meetings, at parent meetings, at pack meetings, and even having special nights where you just are just getting to know parents. Even there's tons of opportunities that you can have with new parents only, or the whole pack and inviting all the parents, whatever the case may be, or you want to do. That's what you need to do, because you need to get to know the parents and know what kind of people they are. Then you need to know the positions that you have available and that you would like to get filled. And you need to know the requirements that these positions require. So there's some resources available online. There is a Power of One page that Chris is going to put the websites of both of these on in the chat. But the Power of One page or paper I found online was really cool, and I've heard about it from somebody at council, and it was in an archive page, but it was still, I think it's still a really good tool that you can use. As you can see, it's talking about how everybody has busy schedules, busy lives, busy with other commitments. But if everybody in the pack were to contribute with at least one thing, then the pack is going to run a lot smoother. Also, we have the Family Talent Survey. And this can look a little bit overwhelming just because it's so much. But if you were to take the time to explain to your parents that it's really not that big of, you don't have to mark all of the things that you would want to do, just mark the things that you really enjoy and you would like to help with, not just the ones that you can do, then that would help out. Or if you maybe said they could have a marker for one color for what they are able to do, one color for what they love to do, that would work too. It's just a really good tool that your parents can fill out. And if you could keep it in your pack directory and know, like, so that each den leader has that available, so that they're going, okay, we're going to be doing a marbles elective for the Bears this next week. So what could we use? Who could we use? And they could just go through and look at these family talent surveys to find out who they could ask to volunteer, or voluntel, as we like to say.
Good point. Voluntold. Yes. Oh,
Yes.
to be voluntold.
Yep. I've been there a couple times. and as oh no, I totally blanked on her name. Shake.
I know Ron Shake, but
his wife, she said to me, but I totally had to twist your arm though, Sarah. And I was like, yeah, okay, you're right. In other words, I didn't have to be twisted. I was totally volunteering on my own. So, excuse me. this is the disc personality stuff that you can look it up online, and they have different personality traits that you can look at and decide what kind of person you are. And you can give this, or give an example of this, to your parents and say, what type of person do you think you are? And you can be more than one. Typically people aren't opposites. They're either D and I, or I and S, or S and C, or C and D, but they're not C and I, or D and S. I'm a little bit odd because I kind of feel like I'm a little bit I and a little C. I'm very much I, but a little bit C as well. So I'm an oddball. So, and I can get copies of this for anybody who wants it, and you can put your email address in the chats or whatever, and I will send all of this information to you. Okay, here's the PAC volunteer positions. First, you have the key three: the chartered organization rep, committee chair, and the Cub master. Typically, you're going to have those already covered. Sometimes you're going to need to be getting a new one because, for instance, the Cub master's youngest child is going into Scouts CSA here soon, and they're wanting to pass that along. This is why assistant Cub master is so important to have, so that if you have an assistant Cub master, they're kind of getting the idea of how the Cub master works and what they're supposed to do, and then they can step into that position very easily. Then there's the den leaders and assistant den leaders. You also have the committee members, which are the secretary. These are the, well, there's two, two of these are absolutely like important. They have to, you have to have two of these. They are the secretary and treasurer. Then there's an advancement chair that helps with advancement and getting those rank requirements and purchasing those, all the different things that they can get, segments and everything. And then the public relations chair, that can be someone who is very technical savvy, and like Chris here, who can go into your Facebook page or your website and just make it super appealing to everybody, that they can just look at it and go, wow, they really do a lot. You can post pictures, you can have a ton of fun. Be sure that the public relations chair gets permission from the parents of the kids to post pictures of those children on the website before they post them. The outdoor activity chair has to be knowledgeable on first aid and different outings that you can do outside, and Blue trained is recommended and encouraged very strongly. My husband does Blue training, and it's just really fun for him. I've never done it, but I think that you would really like it. Membership and registration chair. This one is a little bit like, I haven't ever seen someone PAC have a membership and registration chair, but they would basically be the ones who are trying to recruit new members and recruit new Cub Scouts and register them and get those registrations and the applications filled out and make sure that they're filled out correctly, and then they would turn them into the committee chair. Okay, and then lastly, we do have the key three delegates. So there is an assistant Cub master and the key three delegates. I just learned about the key three delegate, and this is really, really important and cool that they have this, because sometimes charter organization reps are super busy and they don't have the time to sign something off. But if they have a delegate who is okay to sign things off for them, this makes things go a lot smoother. Now that is a lot to choose from. And there is actually one other that we're going to get to a little bit later on that is my favorite volunteer position. And I'll talk to you more about that in a little bit. But right now, next, yep. Volunteer basic qualities. So you need to have high moral standards, ability to relate and communicate, patience, big one with patience. Patience is important not only for the Cub Scouts, which you can see why it would be important for Cub Scouts, but it's also really important for adults, because there are a lot of times in packs where the parents are not understanding and you feel like they got enough emails or information about it that you don't understand why they don't understand it, and you don't want to discourage or get those parents give them anxiety on scouting, because you want them to stay in it for a long time. The next one is organizational skills. This one is awesome. A lot of people say they have organizational skills. They can have a little amount of organizational skills, or they can have a lot of organizational skills. But as long as they have some organizational skills, they can do this. Flexibility and ability to compromise is, if you can see my background on my video, then I have this super Gumby here, and or Semper Gumby, which is being flexible. You want to be flexible in everything and able to compromise. So if there are issues with parents saying, well, that day is not going to work out for me for an outing, and or it's raining like crazy that weekend, do you really want to do this? Be able to be flexible. Good planning skills. This is big. If you do not plan, the parents and the Cub Scouts will know. They can tell. And I'm not saying that if you plan that there won't be any chaos, because this is Cub Scouts. There is always going to be chaos. But if you plan, you at least have an idea of what's happening and what you're wanting to get accomplished. High energy level. With Cub Scouts, this is even more important than with Scouts BSA, because if you have leaders who come in and they're like, okay, so today we're going to be doing this, and I don't know exactly what we're going to do with it, but you can use markers if you want or whatever, then the Cub Scouts are going to be going, and they're zoning out. Today, especially now with all of the devices that we have, they need some high energy level people coming in and going, so guess what we're going to do tonight? You are going to have so much fun. We have this game planned out, and we're going to play this game and sing this song, and we're going to do this craft or whatever you're going to be doing. Just be excited about it and let these kids know that you're excited and get in their faces with excitement, because it definitely helps. Attention to detail. Attention to detail explains itself. You need to have the attention to the details. For instance, with each section or like requirement that is due to be done, that is required for each rank, you have to make sure that they are doing them according to the way the book says, and not just going, well, we sort of did that. And having that attention to detail is awesome. Commitment to the mission, ideals, aims, and methods of scouting. So this is really, really awesome. And the the commitment to the mission of scouting is, let's see, where did I wrote it down? I don't have it. Okay, well, the mission of scouting is basically that you want the youth to grow up to be responsible, and we're trying to train them to be responsible and encourage them to be, can't think of the word.
I can read it.
Okay, yes.
The mission of the Boy Scouts of America is to prepare young people to make ethical and moral choices over their lifetimes by instilling in them the values of the Scout Oath and Law.
Yeah. And the Scout Oath and Law, well, the Cub Scouting values are embedded in the Scout Oath and Law. So next page. The Scout Oath and Law, and the Scout motto. So everybody knows what the Cub Scout motto is, right? Do your best. I even have that as a notification for my phone. It says, do your best. A bunch of kids saying it. I love it. And the Scout Oath and Law, this is the Scout Oath and Law I've used to actually recruit Cub Scouts by telling the parents the Scout Oath and Law, because telling those parents that this is what you're teaching their children to value and to be a model for is huge for parents. They're like, oh yeah, I want my kids to be like that. And with kids, you're going to just be like, you know, parents sometimes are going to tell you you can't play with your food, but in Cub Scouts, we play with our food. That gets the kids every time. Or just tell them, do you guys like s'mores? That works too. Kids are easy, but the parents, you got to work for. And the Cub Scout sign, handshake, and salute. These practices help establish and reinforce the program's values in the Scouts and the leaders who guide them. Okay. Requirements for volunteering are: you need to register your position with the pack. That would mean you have to register with council as well, and not just like you have to fill out the application. You have to do youth protection training, which is on my.scouting.org, and adult leader training. You can, they used to have this in person and online, but lately it's only been online because of COVID. So a lot of things have gone to just being online, as well as the position specific online training. And position specific online training isn't required for them to start, but it is encouraged because a lot of positions are filled in this council right now that they still have not finished their position specific training. And that is a really, really good tool for them to learn about scouting and what their position is and what their role is. So definitely encourage position specific online training immediately, if not before they start. And committee meetings. Going to committee meetings is huge for all of the volunteers. That means den leaders, assistant den leaders, and even parents. Parents are welcome to be at all committee meetings because then they have that voice. Then also they get to learn about how packs work. And then it won't be so overwhelming if you say, you know, I think you would be really good as this position, because they already kind of have an idea of the lingo from the committee meetings of what that role would require. So just having new parents and just coming up to them and saying, hey, you want to fill a position? It may get the no, like, I don't think so. But if you say, would you like to go to the committee meetings? Because then you get a voice on the kinds of things we're going to be doing as a pack. And you get to vote on things and voice your opinion. And it's really encouraged. That is amazing, empowering for the parents, and they will eat that up. Roundtable is also really, really, really important, not just for the pack leaders, but for parents, for everyone. And I have to admit, roundtable for me, when I first joined in the Cub Scouting and was a den leader, I had no idea what this roundtable was. I thought that they met at a roundtable pizza place. And I thought it was probably this super business-like meeting, and it was over my head completely, and I would be completely bored and have no idea what was going on. But then I decided to start going, and I have so much fun that now I'm the Roundtable Cub Scout Breakout Commissioner for my district, because it is so much fun. And you get to have so many people become part of your scouting family that otherwise you wouldn't even get to meet. Asking personally. When you are asking your parents personally, it is so much more effective. Talking to or emailing the entire pack is easier, but it's not as effective. Someone else, they'll be like, yeah, someone else will volunteer because, you know, I just, I think I'll skip this one. Oh, not quite done. Asking an individual to do a specific job personally makes it a lot harder for them to say no. Okay. This one is my favorite. This is a volunteer position that I learned about after Wood Badge. Before Wood Badge, I had never heard of it. And I made forms like this that you can give to your parents on all the positions that are available for packs. And if you would like that, you can put your email address in the chat or message Chris Bartell and he can send it to me, or you can email me, which my email address is going to be at the end of this again. So this one is so much fun though, because the new member coordinator is going to be your most charismatic and animated person in your pack, adult in your pack. And that would be someone kind of like me, basically. If you are someone who isn't afraid to go up to someone and say, hey, how have you been? I haven't seen you for a while. Or, hey, did you do this the last hike? Wasn't that crazy weather? Or, you know, just talk about silly stuff, or get to know your parents. And it's just really fun. And there is a free online training for this as well. There is a face-to-face one that is available sometimes, but it's not been available in our council for a while because of COVID. So I would recommend the free online training on my.scouting.org because it was awesome. Definitely take it, even if you've never heard of that position or you don't have one. Just take it just to learn about it because it is so great to have. Okay, so now we're back to the positions and where they fit into the DISC personalities. So I took a survey with people in the council and district positions and asked them where the positions should be placed within the diametric of the DISC personality stuff. So you can skip again to the next, and then the next page. So here is, and like I said, I can get this sent to you too. So you could ask in your pack meeting, your parent meeting, you could ask people, ask your parents. So where do you think that a den leader should be? Like, what kind of personality would you think would be a great den leader? And they can place the different ones, and you can have everybody place them differently. You can have a little piece of paper or post-it notes that they can post them wherever they want. And then as a pack, you can say, well, it looks like den leaders are mainly in the I's, but they also have some in the D and the S. And not as many people from my survey that I did, nobody really said cautious. Yep. But secretary, what kind of person do you guys think that a secretary would be in? And most of the people in the survey said the D or the S, and or the actually C, because calculating, I mean, hello, calculating, treasurer, money, very good. And this is just a great tool that you can use, and I can get that available to anybody who needs it. And that's about it that I have for you today. I look forward to hearing some questions.
Well, this is great. This is, it's so fantastic to see just an overview of it all. I love what you said on so many things, but especially something that we hound on all the time is your timeline with the kids. It just gets shrunk down further and further, and it's so finite. And it's something that whether the kids are in Scouts BSA or Cub Scouts, you know, it is such a small window in which you get to do these awesome things with your kids. And then as they get older and go into Scouts BSA, you get to go on the adventures as well. Still, we've taken parents on, you know, so many great adventures, and it's great to have this foundation in Cub Scouts and then get to do it when you're in older Scout activities as well. So that was really fun. And the disc method is really a fantastic method in and of itself. And I never really thought about, oh yeah, this is great. We can apply these elements to all of these positions, whether it's Scouts BSA or Cub Scouts, and it makes absolute sense. And spreading the really spreading the work is really key. And as you've seen, for folks who are watching and maybe haven't seen all of the positions and things like that, you know, you have the sort of top level positions that are sort of the must haves, but then there's the would likes. And if you've got a pack of, you know, even if it's 5, 10, 15 kids, you know, what it kind of takes to make a pack go, as we like to say. But there really are, whether it's Scouts BSA or Cub Scouts, there are positions for everybody, for every type of personality. And again, spreading that out, whether you can even do co-treasurers, for instance, or co-leaders on certain things. So it doesn't have to be daunting and overwhelming for somebody. And also, I think, you know, looking at it from a volunteer perspective of how many hours does it really take per month for some of these things. And I've found that it really isn't as many as you think it would be. It's not like, oh my gosh, I'm going to spend 20 hours doing this every month. It's not like that, especially if we spread it out and give people pieces and chunks to manage, or teams of people, if you will, to manage. And that's why it, of course, becomes more important to have more kids involved, so you can spread that work amongst all the parents as well. Yeah. Well, this is really great. What have you found that's been when you're kickstarting it and you're bringing everybody together, and maybe you've had that first committee meeting, how do you keep it from seeming overwhelming? You know, I think that's one of the big conundrums that we run into. I mean, really with so many things that we do in scouting, because there's so much available. Like, we don't have to do everything, but there is so much available. I mean, look at the trainings, for instance. For those of you who haven't gone into your My.Scouting account, once you're a member, you get a My.Scouting account, and you go in there, and there is so much great training on all the, even if you just kind of want to poke around, there are some great video trainings on there that just can teach you a ton. And so it's pretty impressive. But how do you keep from those first parents, you know, the deer in the headlights? Like, how do you keep from freaking people out? I guess I'll keep it simple.
Well, I have had the opportunity to sit down with some parents and show them on the laptop with them, like go to coffee with them and say, so these are the kinds of things that I have done, or the trainings that I've done, and show them an example of one of the trainings and show them how long it takes, because it doesn't take that long. And I know that there are so many trainings that it can be overwhelming, but if you just sit down and look at it, they're not that long, and they're really awesome, and you learn so much.
Yeah, really, really, there is, hey, we've been around for more than 100 years, folks. So there's there are tools and trainings out there and available even for all of the planning and things like that. And I know we're constantly, we here at the council actually are working on some program planning tools for your next year. We've done the big, huge activity book in the past, and with things being so in flux, it's been kind of this weird place to have to be really nimble and flexible and try and create tools that make it easy for people to modify and tweak. So gang, we will have that out actually in the next month. We'll have really, it's just a really simple guide to give you access to all the tools that are out there, like Sarah's here. And so that hopefully will be really easy. If anybody has questions, go ahead. You can toss them into, I've been answering a couple on Facebook and just sending some links out there on Facebook with, so if you're on Facebook right now and you're just looking in the chat, you can actually see links to a lot of these materials in the chat box, as well as here on Zoom Live. There are materials there that you can find in the chat as well. So pull that up and you'll see that, whether it's the disc methods and things like that. We'll also post some of these as well. So of course, this is being recorded and we'll have a blog post on this. So those of you in the Cascade Pacific Council, you'll actually get an email on this. The email newsletter comes out every Thursday. And so you'll get the email. It'll have links to the blog post that will have a video recording of this, the audio recording, and links to all of Sarah's materials as well. We'll put that up there and her contact information and whatnot. So you can have that at the ready. And for those of you not in the Cascade Pacific Council, you'll see a link to this once we post the email newsletter. There's actually a link to the email newsletter that goes into our Facebook page as well, so you can have access to it too. It'll be right there. And great. Let me just check here, see if there are any more questions. People are wanting just the tools, so that's awesome. I'll post a few of the screenshots here too for you folks that are on Facebook. You're asking for those, so I'll grab some screenshots here for Sarah's layouts of how these things play together, and we'll post those as well. Well, awesome. I'm going to escape out of this here, and we'll go back to the other slideshow real quick here. And thanks so much, Sarah, for doing this. This has been really just fantastic. It's a really so you've created some really great tools and such a great overview of what it all entails. And I just really appreciate your time and your passion, your exuberance and excitement for the program. And it is palpable, and I'm sure everybody can get a sense of that. And it's really great. And like you said, you get to pick and choose the fun things you'd like to do. This should be a get to, not a have to. So if it's that you have a really great skill at organization, for instance, or you want to plan the activities and the adventures, or in Cub Scouts, you want to do whatever it is, the activities, the adventures, and the crafts, and the skits and songs and things, you can totally do that. Or if you like the more technical side of things, you can do that. There's literally something for everyone. And same with Scouts BSA, if you're wanting to plan the adventures or, help the Scouts, nudge them along in some cases to plan the adventures. And that's always super helpful as well. Okay, let me check here. I'm checking a couple of questions here. Great, people are just wanting some of the assets there. I'll answer some of these other questions online. Oh, somebody asked about the partnerships on social media. We've got a couple dozen units that are signed up for that. They're actually asking more about from a marketing standpoint. So we've got a couple dozen of those signed up for. We actually post some content to their social media. And on that note, we've got tools and resources there for you folks. You can download those on the cpcbsa.org/marketing page there. Let's see, anything else? Any of the last thoughts there, Sarah?
No, just have fun. Have fun with scouting, because it's contagious.
Love it. Have fun with scouting. It really is. And it's funny that everybody just gets passionate about it. I mean, we saw that with the camporees this last weekends. It's been amazing to get back into it, back into scouting. We're super excited that summer camp is starting back up, and for realsies, I mean, we had summer camp last year, but it's like all feeling totally back to normal, and everybody is super jazzed about it. I know my scouts are super jazzed about it. We've got tons of Cub Scouts. So by the way, gang, if you're in a Cub Scout pack and you're not signed up for summer camp yet, you really need to look into it because it's getting full. We're doing it at Butte Creek Scout Ranch, where you get to meet all the horses and play with the animals, and you get to do BB guns and archery, and it is fantastic. And literally is in a Western town, and so you're going to have a blast if you've never gone to Butte Creek. And adults, you should come too, because you'll get hooked. It's really just a pure joy to see the camp, to see the kids interacting and see the kids having fun. And I tell you what, if you're, I think the best, no offense to the rest of the scout campers out there who are on staff, but I tell you what, when I went to Butte Creek last year, oh my gosh, the team doing the skits, that was about the funniest thing I have ever seen in my life. Pure comedy. So you will love it. It is entertaining. It is hilarious. And the kids just have a blast, and you will too.
And
so
the mini decks are all new.
Yes. So that speaking of summer camp, so if you're not signed up, or you're looking at 2023, or you're out of our council, we have a brand new mini decks. So they are mini Adirondacks, 2-person Adirondacks. They've got shelving in there. They're really nice, and they're brand new at Butte Creek because they all got burned up in the wildfire. So Butte Creek is all brand spanking new, pretty much. And thank you so much to everybody who donated and helped us out there. It is a wonderful story. If you want to check that out on the website and go to the Butte Creek page, you can see all about it. It was amazing. And so we have brand new mini decks, mini Adirondacks there. There's new flushing outhouses that are mind-boggling and awesome. And we have shower houses. So it may not be the Hilton, but it's pretty awesome. So for you parents who are on the fence about going to Scouts BSA camp or Cub Scout camp, you just should do it. And it's Scouts BSA camp. If you just want to go for a few days, work that out with your troop, you can do that too. And because you really need to see it in action, it is incredible. And you'll get to see your kids running around and having fun. And you know what I tell parents? I heard from some parents recently, they're like, oh, my kid doesn't really want me to go. They don't want me around. Well, they won't even see you. So that's what's awesome. You won't see them, they won't see you, except for mealtime. Pretty much they're going to be running around like crazy. It's great. And you just get to hang out with them. You rotate around with the parents in the Cub Scout realm. You know, because you got to be around them for Cub Scouts, but you just rotate that around. You have fun. It is a hoot. And then you can just hang out at camp and just read a book, you know, if you really want to do that, sit by the fire. So that's pretty neat too. So you should do it. It's really fantastic. Speaking of summer camp, our next week, we're going to be doing another summer camp update. So you'll have the latest and greatest. You can also, for those of you going to summer camp, or those of you on the fence and just kind of want to check it out, go to our website. Of course, there's great information on that, but we also have these brand new camp portals as well. The camp portals are fantastic. They have all the information. They're constantly being updated. You get everything from menus and schedules, and everything is there, all the downloadables and stuff. They're very, very robust. So you're going to want to check that out. There's a link to it right on the homepage of our website at cpcbsa.org to these camp portals. They are really fantastic. And just as an FYI for the webinars, we're going to go on a little hiatus at summertime because I'm going to camp. So we're doing that. And actually, I'm going to take a bunch of video and photography at camp. So I'll see you all at camp. I guarantee it's going to be great. And so we're going to take a little hiatus. Then we're going to shift it up because we sent out a survey earlier in the year, since COVID is fairly well over, hopefully, is that and people are now back to work for realsies and on normal schedule. So we're going to switch this up and move Wednesday webinars actually to Sunday. So that's the plan, because you all voted for that. So we'll do a Sunday evening thing, kind of the old 60 minutes style. And so it'll likely be at 7 p.m. Don't quote me on that, but we're working out all the details there, as well as a whole bunch of details with different subject matter material, things like that. So more to come on that, but just so you know, basically we're going to take a little hiatus in the summertime, except for any special occasion webinars. So watch your emails for that, watch Facebook for that. Connect with us there because we have all the details there too. So thanks again, everybody, so much for joining us. Thank you so much, Sarah, for all of your passion, your excitement for scouting and all you do for these kids. It is awesome. We get to plant these seeds in their lives for this tiny little bit of time, and then they get to go out and become leaders of tomorrow and do amazing, amazing things. Unlike any other thing out there, this is a great opportunity to help kids, teach them wonderful things and give them great adventures, and that you get to do them too as parents. So
Oh,
thanks.
I also
Yes,
wanted
go
to
ahead.
mention Weeblos. If your kids are going into Weeblos, then the camp is at Baldwin this year.
Oh gosh, yes, base camp Baldwin. It is awesome. It is, and it's getting full. So gang, get in on that. It is just a few weekends, so it's compact, but it's awesome because we figured out how you can do as a Weeblo. You get to actually do more of the Scouts BSA camp level stuff. So lots of the swimming and all of that kind of thing. So you're going to have a blast. It is awesome. It's at Baldwin, which has the horses. It is awesome. So you're going to really enjoy that. And you can find that at cpcbsa.org/Baldwin for that. And you'll find out all the information there on that and our adventures page as well. So just go to the website, tons of information, and it is going to be awesome. So thanks for the reminder, Sarah. Appreciate it. And thank you so much for all you do. And thanks, gang, for joining us. Really appreciate it. Watch your compass points for all the links to this. Watch the website for the links to all of today's webinars and whatnot. And we will see you all next week. Thanks so much.